Hey guys, how is everyone doing? Happy Wednesday. I hope you all are having a fantabulous day and week. It's the middle of the week. So we're halfway there to Friday. Yay. How about that? And we are continuing on our knotslanding recap. We are on season 5. Episode 7 is amazing. Shows on live. Yay. I'm on YouTube. Alright. Let me let her know. Oh, hey co-host, I was just letting you know that I'm live. Ooh, alright. There we go. Got that. Alright. So, do not forget, as always, the We're Not Done Yet podcast will be linked down below, along with the CV Circle channel, along with No Escaping the Cul-de-Sac podcast. And don't forget to do the YouTube things, like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and turn your bell notification on so that you are notified whenever I go live or whenever I upload a video or a short or something like that of that nature. I also want to just kind of quickly address this because I know that there's a lot of news, and I think across YouTube and TikTok and Kick and all that, it is being addressed. As you all know, Perez Hilton had an issue last night, and if you don't know who he is, he's an internet blogger who is known for his commentary in the entertainment business with different actors, actresses, and reality people. He also had a guest appearance on Girl Meets World. So I just want to encourage everyone, just because we're getting into a storyline with Karen today, if you need help, please do not be afraid to get the help that you need. Do not be afraid to call someone. There's lines out there to help you, and for goodness sake, do not go on live and try to do something to yourself. That is not the way, that is not the answer. So please get help. There is help out there for you if you need it. So my thoughts and prayers are out to Perez, Mr. Hilton, and his family, friends, and especially his kiddos. Because I am aware that he has kiddos. So I just kind of wanted to address it because I know that there's a lot of news going on around it. So I just kind of wanted to put it out there and send out good vibes that way. So, and then also I want to say we finished, I think it was yesterday, the day before, we finished with Janet Baines. So Joanna Pettit is no longer on the show. So again, I want to send my good thoughts and well wishes out to her family and friends, as we just lost her recently last month. I think it'll be a month and a couple of days. So good thoughts for them as well. So with that being said, don't forget to check out the We're Not Done Yet podcast, the CV Circle channel, and No Escaping the Cul-de-Sac if you kind of want to get away from all drama mama real life stuff that's going on, because I know that can be heavy. And again, I addressed it because we are kind of talking about, some mental health issues coming up in these next couple of episodes. So like I said, I just wanted to address it because I know where the storyline is going. Um, Let me just make sure because I almost got kicked out a little bit. Hold on. Let me see. We had like the power go out for like a second, so I don't know if the internet is going out or if it hit my laptop and it was acting crazy. So I don't know. So yeah, so again, we're going to be addressing some sensitive topics. There's going to be a couple of trigger warnings coming up within this within the next set of episodes. So So we are going to. Okay, cool. Alright, yeah, I just got kicked off for like a second, so I don't know. I didn't know how much of it you guys missed. Um, so we are opening up with season 5, episode 7, and this is called Sacred Vows. And we open with Diana still at the hospital with Chip while Morrison is asking her how Chip is doing. Diana is aware that Chip is still in a coma, and Diana is sure that Chip will live, and Morrison tells her that she is paying a big price for herself and everyone around her. So she's not seeing the fact that the love that she has for Chip and the fact that she's harboring him or covering up for him is harming the people that she loves. And then we see that Karen is at knotslanding with Mack, talking about the appointment of crime commissioner for Greg Sumner campaign. And Mack tells her that Greg asked for Karen to be there, and she said that she will be there. Mack wants Eric and Michael to be there as well. Mack is happy that Karen is back at work, and Eric is going to. However, Eric says that he can't go because he has other plans, and he's actually going to go see Diana. And so he did offer to cancel his plans. However, Karen said no, that he's going to go ahead and she wants him to stay close to Diana so that they can still have a connection with the family. Dowd on the phone with Gary and talking about Lily May and getting the results from her psychiatric evaluation. And then they agreed to meet after Val has her appointment with the lawyer and the psychiatrist to talk, and they decide on a coffee shop. Abby is still at the office, and there's a meeting with Greg at 3, and Westmont asks if Gary will be there, and she says he will because she is impressed with Greg Sumner. So at this point, everyone loves Greg. Greg is a good guy at this point. No, he's nothing. No, he can do no wrong, and anyone's eyes. We're not aware of what's going to happen, what's going on in the background. So, Abby is sure that Gary will be there. Abby is not listening to Westmont, and she tells him that she knows what she is doing, because Westmont is worried that if Gary doesn't come back, then he's not going to get his piece of the pie. Mack is in his new office and tells Greg that Karen is back at work. Mack is concerned about his marriage because of what Karen has been going through these last couple of days. And so he's just concerned that, the way that Karen is going is just kind of going down a downward spiral. So they're talking about old times and acting like best buds. So right now they're still trying to rekindle their friendship and get along. Greg is glad that Mack took the job, and Mack said that he kind of warned Greg, like, just because you're running for Senate and the fact that, we're friends doesn't mean. They're talking about old times and that like best buds. So they're right now they're still trying to rekindle their friendship and get along. We're just glad that Max got and Max said that he kind of warns Greg, like just because we're running for Senate and the fact that, we're friends doesn't mean. Okay, I think I'm back. Y'all. Hold on. Yay, I'm back. Woohoo! Alright, so, where was I? Okay, I was talking about Greg, Mac talking to Greg about the appointment and saying that it might be hard that just because he's running for Senate and that they're friends doesn't mean that they're going to, um, that he's going to hold back. Like, he's going to investigate things that he thinks are wrong. And I think, again, it's a legality versus a morality for him. So it's like, he's going to be on the law of the side, on the side of the law in most of it. So he's going to struggle with that, especially with Karen. Next, we see that Val is still working on her book, and Melinda comes downstairs, complaining about the evaluation that was done. Melinda continues to say that she only did what needed to be done. Ben shows up, and Val invites him in. However, she does push Ben away and tells him that she can't have him around and that she has to deal with this by herself. However, she wants Gary. Gary misses a meeting with Greg and the fact that there are funds on the line for Gary because I guess Gary was supposed to show up with a check for Greg. Greg says that Abby is interested and cannot figure her out. Abby tells Greg that the sky is the limit if Gary remains interested in his career, and then Abby flirts with Greg. Diana is talking to Chip while he is in a coma and is unsure if he can hear her. Doctors are not sure how long Chip is going to be like this or if he's gonna ever wake up. Um, and then she starts to yell at the nurse who will come back later. Diana tells Chip that she knows he loves her, however Chip's monitor goes off and she calls for help. Olivia and Brian are dropped off and asked if Gary had asked Abby to marry him and that she had sent them off to spend the night with their friends. Gary tells them that they have a lot to work things out and that eventually Abby will come back home, but right now, it's, they just have to work it out. Gary still did not show up for the meeting with Greg, and the fact that Abby is upset that Gary did not show up. Greg kisses Abby. Goodness. First kiss between them. Lily Mae needs to be hospitalized in order to receive care, and it means that it will help keep her out of jail because if they find her guilty, then she could possibly spend, depending on what happens with Chip, could possibly spend the rest of her life in jail. The doctor says that this is the kindest thing that you can do for her, and it is a very difficult decision. Laura and Gary are talking about Val, and Gary forgot about Greg, but remembered about Val. Laura encourages him not to start something new with Val if he can't. Gary just wants to make amends with her, and Laura tells him to leave her alone. If that's all that she wants to do, she says tell him just to leave her alone. She is so upset and goes up to her apartment. Greg is announcing Mack's appointment to the crime commission while Michael is eating. When is Michael not eating? Ben shows up to Paul. Ben tells her that Val wants to be alone because Karen did ask where Val was. I'm not exactly sure where I left off, so I'm kind of going to go back up. Um, to where I was talking about the Greg announcing Mack's appointment to the crime commission while Mack was always eating and this is not eating. Ben showed up to cover the announcement. Ben tells Karen that she must be very proud, and Ben tells her because Karen did ask where Val was, and Ben said that she needs to be alone right now. And then Karen tells him that Val doesn't know what she needs and do not leave her alone because she can be kind of dangerous thinking in her mind and she is left alone because she's going to start thinking about Gary again. Val is still waiting for Gary and he does not show up. However, he does see her in the window and he does not go in to meet with her. However, Val doesn't see him, but Gary sees her. Renee is at home in her room, and Val goes in to talk to her about what the decision is about her going to the hospital. Renee is getting frustrated and thinks that everyone is turning on her. And again, Renee is saying that she only did what needed to be done, and she cannot see past that. Val tells Renee that she needs help and that Val will have to take her there to say to get the help that she needs. And tells her that if she is found guilty, that she will go to jail and it will be a lot worse. Abby is watching the fire alone and someone knocks on her door. It is Gary coming in to apologize and she lets him in. Gary tells Abby he called Greg's office to apologize about about missing the meeting. And then Gary does propose to Abby and they want to get married as soon as possible. In fact, they decide on tomorrow. Eric is talking to Diana at the hospital, and Eric says that he does not know how she can stand it, and Diana says that she can't. And again, Eric tells her about Karen, and he brings up Sid and the fact that the reason why they watched him was because he stood up for his morals, his beliefs, his safety, and what Diana is doing is kind of the opposite. So he's glad that Sid isn't there to see what Diana is doing right now. Um, and Eric doesn't know how Diana can protect a person who hurt another person. Karen is awake in the middle of the night working on books and inventory, and she cannot sleep. Mack wakes up and tries to get her to go to sleep. She tells Mack that she wants to get the work done, and she's trying to get along in her life, so she wants to continue to live her life, and she has to realize that she can't continue the cycle with Diana right now. Karen tells Mack to go back to sleep, and then as Mack, can't remember if Mack leaves or if he goes back to sleep, but as he does, she's looking at the paperwork and you can kind of see the way that the numbers are jumping out at her on the page. So she is getting the headache and is unsure of what's wrong. Gary looks over at his ranch as he is thinking about what he's doing. Diana asks if Chuck can hear her and that she has to do what is right no matter what happens. And the fact that she does love Chip, but she has to go with her gut at this time. Diana tells Morrison that she's ready to talk. However, there's something that she did not count on, and that's the fact that Chip ends up waking up. Gary and Abby are getting married while Val is dropping Lily May off at the institution in order to get treatment. And Lily May does have her own room with cable TV and home bathroom. Val and Lily May say goodbye while Abby and Gary say I do. And then we see that Abby and Gary are on their honeymoon. Val returns home and calls Gary However, Olivia tells them that Gary and Abby got married the night before and they are on or that day and they are on their honeymoon. Val is disappointed and hangs up. And then we see that Val is in an empty house and she just doesn't know what to do with herself right now. Gary is awake and dun dun dun. Breakfast comes in and lo and behold, dun dun dun, it is Kathy, Gary, who looks a lot like Susie. And then I put back, welcome back, Lisa Hartman Black. And Gary does a double take. So basically, this is the story that I heard about Lisa Hartman coming back. Is that the fans loved her, they wanted her to come back, and so the writers found a way to get Lisa back on the show, and I think that's a very interesting way. However, I'm not exactly sure. Um, I'm so confused. But sorry, I was looking at something because yeah. So yeah, so the fans wanted Lisa Hartman Black back, and so they found a way to bring her back and found a way to tie her to Gary and Abby again, which is very interesting. And I think what Gary did about was kind of hopeful and kind of, again, I say that he and Abby were spending the night together and then he saw Val and that just happened, so, that kind of put, um, uh, that kind of hurt Val in the long run with the fact that, it gave Val an idea that they were trying to get back together, Because like she told Mack, she was talking about what had happened with Gary, and now it's kind of like all up in the air. And again, we're still seeing Diana at the hospital with Chip, trying to be there for him. However, she's still not understanding what she's doing to everyone around her. And again, I say, that's typical for an older, an eldest daughter who is the oldest. They typically do not see what they're doing to other people. However, they usually do not take it this far. As far as what Diana has taken it, they don't usually take it as far as this. And so therefore she's like kind of like being stubborn, doesn't care about anything or anyone, um, and only cares about Chip. And it was a very cute reel that came out. So if you're following Matt's Remastered on Instagram, they actually did a reel of the whole Chip Diana storyline. So if you go to Instagram, and I'll see if I can link it. If you go to their Instagram and look at their reel or their post, they actually, like I said, have the whole Chip storyline in under, I'm gonna say 2 minutes, done to the Johnny Cash song, Ring of Fire, which I said, how appropriate, How appropriate is that? So yeah, so there's that. And then we see that Mack is trying his hardest to still be there for Karen. And it is very difficult because, as we'll see in the next episode, Karen is really starting to unravel And like I said, this is starting to talk about some trigger warnings, and that's why I brought up what I did at the beginning of the live, just so that everyone is aware. And just again, please, if you need help, please make sure you get the help that you need, and just know that it is out there for you. I got some haircuts coming. I think the way I'm doing my hair right now might be kind of cool, but I just can't make it stay. Um, so Karen does need help, however, she's just not sure what she needs, and she just wants her daughter back, but she's starting to realize on some level that she has to get on with her life and move forward and get back to work, and she has other family members that, love her, and, it's just getting more and more difficult for her because she does have that bond with Diana. There is a strong bond between the mother and the daughter, and like I said, they're gonna just have that fight. And I think if you have only one daughter, then it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. So, and then again, I feel bad for Roland May. Roland May's going through a hard time. She doesn't recognize what she's done, and the fact that she keeps saying she only did what needed to be done because he wasn't gonna pay for what he did, so she just took it in her own hands and didn't see anything wrong with it, which I think is kind of like almost snaps, like you just snap in the moment and you don't know what you're doing. And there's a woman on trial right now who kind of went through the same thing, however, with way worse. And people can snap, and people, when they're being portrayed like they were, and the fact that someone harmed somebody else, and but that's not a way to get justice. You gotta, like Mack said, you gotta let the law take it in their own hands. You can't just do your own justice. I mean, what good is that gonna do? You're gonna end up in jail, or you're gonna end up in the hospital trying to get better and figure out what you did. Now, luckily, when they didn't take too much trouble with it, but that's not a way to do to take care of things, you know. And I just feel bad for Eric because he's caught between his mom and his daughter, and his mom and his daughter, his mom and his sister. He loves his sister, but he also loves his mom. And I think it's really good that Karen told him say Diana, so that again there can be that connection with the family, and the fact that she always has someone there for her, to love her and to let her know what's going on. And again, Diana just doesn't see it, and she doesn't even want to hear from Eric about what's going on with her mom, in my opinion. Okay. Um. So co-host, am I right or am I wrong? And I think it's really good that right now we're seeing the good side of Greg, because we see that he does have some redeeming qualities. However, we don't know at this point what all Greg is capable of. And again, we are seeing his good side, but then come later on, it's going to be something different, Okay. It's going to be something different, so therefore we don't know what it's going to be like after a while. Um, so co-host, do you have anything to add? And I love the friendship right now between Mack and Greg. They're showing that Greg does like Mack and Mack likes Greg. And again, the fact that Mack did tell him that, I'm not going to hold anything back. And, if I see something, I'm going to say something, I'm going to investigate it no matter what. And, you may be surprised and you may not like it. So, again, right now we're seeing the good side of Greg. Alright, this is in accordance with teachers for use policy. Do you think that right now we're seeing the good side of Greg? I think we are. And again, this is in accordance with teachers for use policy.
Greg wants to announce my appointment to the press tonight. And I want you to be with me, Ken. Eric, how you doing?
All right.
Come on, no big deal. Some cocktails, some hors d'oeuvres for the freeloaders.
Sounds like a good way to do it.
And he specifically asked that you attend.
He did?
Yep.
He's such a terrific man.
So again, Greg cannot do any wrong with anybody. He's just, Karen likes him, and that's saying a lot if Karen likes him. Again, this is in accordance with teachers for use policy.
One of the most thoughtful men I've ever met, especially for someone so busy.
Yeah, he's in a hurry to make this announcement.
I'm so happy you took the job.
In fact, it's tonight at 7:30.
Well, I'll be there right on time, bright and early. Up.
Excuse me.
So again, Karen is just kind of like all over the place right now, and I think it's because she's trying to bury herself into her work, but she's also getting these headaches, these back pains, she's not sleeping well. So, and I think a lot of it has to do with the car accident, and then as well as the tension with Diana right now. Because like I said, I think Karen is starting to unravel all of it. Again, this is in accordance with teachers for use policy.
How you doing? All right. Things are going pretty well, huh?
Getting back to work was the best thing that could happen to me. You were right. You were absolutely right about that.
Sure. I want you and Michael to be there tonight.
So again, this is where Eric wants to be there, however, he has other plans. Again, this is in accordance with teachers for use policy.
I don't think I can make it. Ernie made some plans.
Bring it with you.
I can't.
Why? Doesn't she want to be seen in public with you? Come on.
I'm going out to eat with Diana.
Mack always makes these jokes about Eric's cult friends. What, is she embarrassed to be seen in public with you? And again, this is in accordance with teachers for use policy.
Where are you going to dinner?
I'll change my plans.
No. No, I don't want you to do that. I want you to stay close with Diana. It doesn't matter whatever else has happened. We're still a family.
But tonight's important for Matt.
It's all right. You do what your mother said.
So they won't tell me anything.
Alright. So there's that, so like I said, Eric wants to do this for Mac, but Karen wants Eric to go spend some time with Diana. Can you see if there's any other things here? And I think it's really hard too, like with Val trying to put, knowing that her mother needs help and making that decision, because if you are an only child and you have to make that decision about a parent, that gotta be difficult. That is really, really difficult. Because I can say the same thing about my mom, I even threatened, no, I don't want to say I threatened, I even told my mom that if you don't go to the hospital, I'm going to call an ambulance and have them come get you, because there were times when she was having some issues that I needed to make sure that she was okay, and I told her, you need to go to the hospital. Finally, I was able to take her in. Luckily, I did, because her blood sugar was way high. And again, this is in accordance with teachers for use policy.
Oh.
Again, this is in accordance with teachers for use policy.
I'm sorry.
So this is 3 a.m. in the morning. Karen's out looking at paperwork for her inventory. So again, she still can't sleep. And I get like that sometimes. It's quite interesting. Again, this is according to today's policy.
Like disturbing you.
What time is it?
3:30.
What are you doing?
I couldn't sleep, so I'm just taking care of some of this paperwork. I thought as long as I'm awake, I might as well do it now, right? It's okay. Just go back to sleep. I'll be with you in a minute.
It's not okay.
Well, this has to be done for inventory anyway.
Mack is starting to get concerned about Karen, and he tries to get her to come back to bed. Again, this is according to today's policy.
Karen, you can't make believe nothing's wrong.
But I have to get on with my life.
I'm glad to hear it, but this is crazy.
I'm through crying over her, Mac.
I know, but
So right now, Mack is thinking that's more or less about Diana and not anything physical, but I think because I did experience something in March where it was I was so upset, so grieving so much that it manifested itself into pain. And I think at this point, Mack is thinking that what she's going through right now is kind of difficult. However, he's not realizing that whatever is starting to bring itself into the tension and into whatever is going on with Diana. And again, I can relate to that because I was in it. I was in it this past year. Again, this is going to teach for your policy.
staying up all night is no better.
Go back to sleep. Okay?
Hey, put this away and come to bed.
I'm almost through. Hey, you've got a busy day tomorrow, right? Go to sleep.
So she tells him to go back to bed, go to sleep, and then he ends up and then she looks at the paper and the numbers and whatever is all jumbled up. So there's that. So how do you feel about Cassie coming back and looking like Suzu? That's kind of interesting, huh? Hold on 1 second. Sorry, just kind of looking at some stuff there about knotslanding. Don't worry. So what do we think about Cassie coming back looking like Suzu? I don't know how, like I said, I think it's a clever way to bring Mr. Hartman Black back. Oh, say that 3 times fast. To bring Lisa Hartman Black back. That's a very clever way. And again, they tied Greg in with a lot of the people already from Los Angeles. However, the only person that is, I don't think that is ever really tied to Greg, the 2 people, is Chip, Diana. So it's at the Chip, Diana, and Cassie. Those are the three people that don't ever really have anything to do with Greg Sumner. If you know of anybody else, please comment down below if you think of anybody else that's not tied to Greg. Okay, so now we are on season 5, episode 8, and this is called A Change of Heart. We open up at the police station while Diana's lawyer is waiting for Mack, and Mack comes in and her lawyer tells him that Diana doesn't want Mack in there with her and that she's gonna go in alone. However, the lawyer did say that he thought that Mack would want to see what Diana says, and so they put him in the observation room where Diana can't see him, but he can see Diana. And then when Diana starts to talk about what happened with between Susan and Chip and the fact that it was an accident and, and goes into details, Mack is watching this and is breaking his heart. Abby and Gary are at home and they are enjoying Mary's life. However, he cannot get Kathy out of his mind because she looks like so much like Fiji. However, he doesn't know her name right now. So he doesn't know her name. I'm just calling her Kathy because I do know that that's what her name is. Abby leaves and then Gary calls the hotel to get the name of the person who served room service. However, they did not know who she was and that she was from a temp agency. He gets the name of the temp agency and then he goes looking for her. Karen is getting the mail from the house, and this is when she sees Laura, and she tries to pass things up again. However, it gets interrupted by Mack, and she asks Laura to wait, and then Mack tells Karen that Diana gave a deposition to put Chip away, and she thinks that Diana is coming home. So Karen runs back into the house, all excited, thinking that Diana's gonna come back home. Abby is at the office, and Westmont comes in and asks how she got Gary to marry him, and then Abby wants to develop Lotus Point and wants to leave Karen on as a owner, however, does not want to tell her everything about Lotus Point, and then she'll make money, however, she's not going to make as much money as Abby would. Gary is at the employment agency, and they tell him the name that the name of their people is personal and privileged, and that they can't give it out. However, Gary tells them that it is an emergency, and then he tells them where Kathy gives them her name and where she's currently at right now. Diana returns to the hospital and learns that Chip is awake and surprises her. She is second guessing what she did. Abby is talking to Greg about giving more to the campaign. However, Greg says that he cannot accept any more money from Ewing, and he tells her that because she's a Ewing now, she can't even donate any more money. Greg wants to play by the rules. Greg and Abby are talking as Laura comes in, and this is when Laura first gets introduced to Greg. Dun dun dun. Let's not ask Abby why Greg is so happy. Kathy is at the restaurant while Gary goes in and orders something to eat. He surprises her by calling her by knowing her name, and it kind of creeps her out. Diana tries to tell Chip about what she did, however, as they are talking and Chip thinks that he is getting out of the hospital soon and they will go to New York, as Diana is trying to tell him what happened and that she went to the police. They put Chip under arrest for harming Susan. Chip is upset and concerned about what Diana said. Val and Ben are going, so Val was Ben back into her life So they're going to see Willie May. However, Willie May thinks that they are there to take her home. And Willie May to get her haircut. Willie May thinks that everyone is taking things so seriously and how the person in the room next to her knocked on the door in the middle of the night. She's upset with Ben and thinks that Ben wants her to stay where she's at right now. Mack is at knotslanding Motors trying to talk to Karen about the possibility that Diana might not come home. And Eric tells Matt that she has been like this all day. Karen goes to talk to the guy about the radio. Eric says that he will go to see Diana, but Diana's not coming home. And he's afraid of what this is going to do to Karen. Eric leaves, and Mack and Karen talk. Mack makes Karen sit down and tells Karen to go see a doctor because of her headaches, her back pain, and just her not sleeping at night. In the trip now, Jerry tries to talk to Kathy, but she drives off. Michael and Mack are playing basketball when Ben and Val come home. Ben tells Val about his father and the nervous breakdown he had when he was in high school, and that he was the one that found his father. Ben tries to encourage Val to continue to see Willie May and that it will get better. Mack asks Ben and Val to get together that night so that they can do something normal. However, Val denied the offer because she's upset about what's going on with Willie May. So Mack knows that Val kind of needs something else on the mind and tries to get her to come over to get things off of her mind. Karen is at the doctor's and she is told to slow down, take it easy, possibly get out of town. And the doctor does give her a scope for her pain. Dun dun dun. Garrett finds Kathy at the gym and tells her who he is and that he does not want anything from her. He doesn't want to harm her or anything like that. Kathy thinks that her ex hired him to find her, and he reassures her that she just looks like someone he used to know, and they decide to meet the next day. Mack and Karen are having dinner together, and Karen is waiting for Eric and Diana. Mack asks about what the doctor said, and that the doctor told her to take it easy and to get some rest. And then she told him that he gave her some medicine to help with the pain. And Mack asked if she took it, and she said no because I had to drive home, and then also she just got home. Eric comes home and tells him that he gets the feeling that Diana wished she did not talk to the police now. Karen tells Matt that she is fine. Mack asks to go away. Karen declines. Karen goes upstairs after she learns the news. Laura is talking to Westmont about his past and then asks about all the ideas that Abby and Westmont have been talking. So basically, Laura is trying to get into Westmont's head to get him to tell her about what Abby is cooking up. Laura learns that Gary inherited 10% of New Oil that day, and that as well as the fact that he and Abby are going to develop Lotus Point. Karen is at the hospital talking to Chip about Diana, and it does not go so well. Chip tells her that she should be talking to Diana and not him. Karen tells him that Diana will not listen to her and that Diana will listen to him. Karen yelled at Chip and then apologizes. However, Karen asks Chip to not let Diana throw her life away. Karen tells him that Diana has to come home and tells him that she will not let him ruin her life. She is begging Chip and he kicks her out. Val and Ben are having dinner at her house and he is trying to talk to her and throw out something random to get her to focus again or to make sure that she was listening. Ben says that she had to do it. Val tells Ben that Gary got married yesterday, and then she tells him that they were starting to see each other again, and Ben asks why she told him, and she said because she wanted to know. So basically, Val was trying to be honest with Ben about what happened with Gary and the fact that they were starting to have something built up again. Gary's in the steam room at the ranch, and Abby comes in. Oh, wait, hold on. Karen comes home, and Karen tells Mack that she went to the hospital to talk to Chip, and then Mack asks her to go away with him again. Karen is losing control and tells Mack that she cannot go away for a week. Mack is telling Karen that she lost her, she's so scared. Gary is in the steam room, and Abby comes in and gives him the mail from the lawyer from Texas. Gary gives it to Abby and asks her if she wants to read it, and then Abby asks surprise. However, Gary already knew about the inheritance, and then he laughs. Diana wants to see Chip, and as she's being blocked of going in, Gary goes to meet Cassie. However, Cassie does not come in, and Gary sees her. Karen is at the dealership and is having will stay open to receive either a car or car equipment or something. And Karen looks at her feeling textures and she's starting to get a headache, and then she takes one of her pills to help. So basically, she was against taking the pills until this time. Diana's on the phone with her lawyer and she has to talk to him while they are taking him out. However, when they go in to get Chip to take him downtown, Chip escaped, and then Diana is happy about the fact that he got away. And so we don't know where he is, and we don't know if it was planned. We don't know if Diana even had a chance to talk to him about what they were going to plan to do next. So basically, I don't know what happened. I don't know where he went. We don't know where he went. And I don't know if we'll find out in the next episode or not. So, oh gosh. Sorry, I'm just trying to get comfortable. So, in this episode again, we see Diana trying to tell Chip that she is, that she ended up going to the police. Chip does get arrested in the hospital, which they can do. And then they can arrest you in the hospital and then handcuff you to the bed so you don't move. So I don't know how he got out. And then this is also when Morrison gets very familiar with Gary's ranch, which we'll see in the next couple of episodes. Let's see. That's right. That Karen is starting to unravel. She doesn't know what to do. She's still unraveling. She does try to patch things up with Laura, but then Mack interrupts her. And Mack is trying to be there for her, but he doesn't know how. And he's starting to see, he's really starting to see that she's becoming a different person, and he doesn't know what to do for her, how to help her. And the only thing that he knows of right now is that it's more physical than it is the mental part. And again, I say, if you need help, please go get the help. Go get it, please. There is help out there. And then we see Abby and Gary. Abby is scheming again with whoever, with Westmont, Greg, all of them. And then Laura's trying to get information from Westmont, And like I said, we see Laura meeting Greg for the first time, which again, they're trying Greg to everybody but Chip, Diana, and Catherine. Those are the only three people that Greg is not going to be tied to, which is kind of interesting. He's tied to everyone else, and I think that that's why, again, I say this again, that if Sid was still a part of the show, they would not have enough sleep, they would not have lasted as long as they did, in my opinion. I wish I just intended to. And then Eric trying to be there for Diana. I think that's really sweet that, you know, Eric is so trying to be there for Diana. Even though they had their little kind of tiff in the last episode, the episode before that, they're just trying to be, they're still trying to be there for her and let her know that, you know, he'll do anything for her, but as long as it's not helping her to harbor someone who hurt another person. Um, I'm trying to think of what else. Gary is just. I think Gary knew that maybe Abby may have known about the inheritance, and so therefore he didn't want to tell her before they got married. And I think that maybe Gary did want to get married before he got the inheritance. I don't know. That's quite interesting. I'm not sure. And why didn't he tell Abby about it when he got back from the reading of the will? That's quite interesting. Do you think Gary had something up his sleeve? I don't know. I don't know. And I think Sharon is going to have a long road to hoe ahead of her. She's going to go through a lot. And they're going to see that this moral compass, this strong pillar of the cul-de-sac, the one who is always there for everybody else, is going to have a hard time. And I think that that does really show that if a person can only hold so much in before they break, and I think that Karen's getting to a breaking point, and the whole fact with Diana, that's bringing a lot of tension, and she just can't hold it in anymore, and she can't really be there for anyone else because she's so overwhelmed because she has been there for everyone else's problems that she is unsure of how to handle her own problems, if that makes any sense. So therefore, she's always been the tough person, and now that she's starting to realize that she can't be the tough person that she once was, she's just getting a little bit more unhinged at this point and doesn't know how to deal with it um, in a healthy way. And again, like I said, there is help out there. Please get it. I feel like I'm talking in circles now, so I'm not going to tune. How to change a heart. Sorry, that's a Judge song. Or that's in a Judge song. Alright. Co-host, do you have anything else to add while am I right? Am I wrong? Am I going all over the place? Again, this is according to teacher's fairness policy. Whoop.
Laura, wait a minute. Hi. Hello? Look, I've really been rotten.
I won't argue with that.
All right.
So Laura is kind of frustrated because Karen kind of yelled at her in the last episode, so Karen's just trying to make it up so that they can become friends again and then have the neighbors again. Again, this is in accordance with 223's policy.
Lately, I've been insensitive, irritable, self-centered. Feel free to stop me at any time. Certainly,
Okay, sorry, kind of checked me out a minute. Alright, this is in accordance with 223's policy.
been something less than a friend. I can imagine how difficult it's been with Richard gone. I guess I haven't considered what you've been going through. I've been Mack.
So again, this is when Mack pulled up. She's trying to talk. Okay, so she's trying to talk to Laura. However, Mack just pulled up. So again, this is in accordance with 223's policy.
I've been too busy thinking about myself. So.
Karen?
So Mack wants to talk to her. Again, this is in accordance with 223's policy.
Wait.
Diana just gave Morrison a deposition.
What?
Yeah, she just went in and did enough to put the creep away.
Mack, do you know what this means?
Listen to me, Karen. I saw what she was going through.
Mack.
She's not ready to come home yet. She needs more time.
So Mack is trying to tell her what happened and the fact that Diana might need more time before she's ready to come home.
Might be your sister.
Hold on. Okay. Okay, yeah, it kissed me out a couple of times, so I just wanted to make sure. Alright, again, this is according to 223's policy.
I know. What if he?
Alright, this is according to 223's policy.
You've got to get me out of here.
You weren't there. You didn't see her.
I know Diana better than anybody.
Unlike anything you can imagine. This was ripping her guts out. I don't think anybody realizes how much she loves this guy. To us, he's a schlub, but to her, he's something else altogether.
It doesn't matter. Don't you understand? She did it. No matter how hard it was. Karen.
So Karen is happy. She's happy about it, however, and she thinks that she's coming home. However, Mack and Eric don't know how to handle this. Again, this is according to 223's policy.
Yes, that bozo is here with a new shipment of radios. Will you talk to him? You want me to take care of it?
I'll be right there.
Thank you.
I never lost hope. And I was right.
That's the way she's been all day. She really believes Diana's coming home.
Well, there's no change with Diana.
Oh, I know that. But there's no way to get through to her. I can't have a conversation with her about anything.
So Eric and Mack are talking about how Karen has been acting lately and with the fact that she's been obsessed, preoccupied, and just kind of like, I don't know. It's just been crazy. Again, this is according to 223's policy.
You didn't see Diana?
After work. Mom thinks I'm bringing her home with me. Mac, what's going to happen when she finds out?
I don't know.
What do we do?
I don't.
Well, I better be getting back to work. See you later.
Take it easy.
Hey, he's doing a good job. The guys on the floor love him. All right. Let's
Mrs. McKenzie, sit down.
No, I have to get back. back to work.
Sit down. You'll be going a mile a minute.
So here's where Mack is getting a little bit concerned about Karen. And again, this is according to teacher's service policy.
Oh, cut it out, Matt. Come on.
You haven't been sleeping. You've been sleeping lousy. You know that. You're not eating. You're getting headaches and back pains.
I'm feeling better today.
I want you to see a
I
doctor.
don't need to see a doctor.
I want you to have an examination. You've been in an accident.
Mac.
I want you to see a doctor today. Either you do it yourself, or I'll take you.
Okay.
Good.
So Karen's been stubborn about seeing a doctor. I mean, I get it. Why wouldn't they? Alright, and again, this is according to teacher's service policy.
Just take one after you get home.
This is according to teacher's service policy.
What else did he say?
And he told me to take it easy.
He's right.
Give me a prescription.
Did you take one?
You know I had to drive.
Sorry, I got kicked out again.
What else did he say?
I'm gonna go back up a little bit because I don't know where it left off at. So again, this is according to teacher's service policy.
What else did he say?
And he told me to take it easy.
He's right.
Give me a prescription.
Did you take one?
You know I had to drive home.
Did you take one after you got home?
So she's smart. She didn't take it when she had to drive home. You know? So she's smart. And again, this is according to teacher's service policy.
Mac. I'm fine. Wonder what's taking Eric so long.
Yeah, I think the two of us take a little vacation. Big Sur would be a bad idea.
You can go away now.
Come on, 4 or 5 days, we deserve it.
Mack is trying to get her to go away for the weekend or for a week in order to get her mind off of things and just to relax. So, which is not a bad idea. Again, this is according to teacher's service policy.
Eric.
Hi.
Hi. Wait. Did you see Diana? Well, what's wrong?
No, don't talk about it later.
Well, what did she say?
So Eric doesn't want to deliver the news. He wants to wait until it's a better time to where Karen and Mack are not having a dinner together. And again, this is according to teacher's service policy.
Things aren't working out the way you planned. Diana's not coming home.
You mean tonight?
Mom, I sort of get the idea that she wishes she would have never spoken to the police.
Excuse me.
So then she goes upstairs because she's upset. She's hurt. She doesn't understand what's going on in Diana's head. I'm not going to play the scene between her and Chip. I'm going to play this scene because, again, this shows where her breaking point is. Again, this is according to teacher's service policy.
Great, Mike.
So,
It's getting late.
I only thought.
Karen, listen. There's a couple of guys up in the Bay Area that Greg would like me to go and see. That might help me on the commission.
It was the last chance I had.
So Karen's so upset. She doesn't hear anything that Mack is saying. She doesn't know what's really going on around her. She's just focused on Diana right now. And again, this is according to teacher's service policy.
I didn't expect him to agree with me, or even to
Karen, I might be gone for about a week.
Help
I'd like
me.
you to go with me.
But at least I thought he chose compassion.
Karen, go with me.
believe that? And he just acted like I wasn't there. It was.
I think Mack decided to see the unraveling of Karen, and he wants her to go away with him so that he can keep an eye on her and maybe help her through this. I think he's scared. He's scared for his wife. And I've seen a couple of other couples in similar situations. And again, this is according to teachers training policy.
I can't go away for a week.
She's not coming back.
No, I meant because of Michael.
Don't worry about the boys. They can take care of
I feel
themselves.
funny, Matt,
Diana
leaving.
is not coming
Matt.
home. Did you expect Chip to pat you on the back and say he was sorry?
What did you think?
So they kind of get into his fight right here. Oh. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, guys. Alright, this is quantity. So this is when they're trying to get into a fight. Mack's trying to talk some sense into her, and the more that he's trying, the harder Karen is reacting. So again, this is according to teachers' fair use policy.
You should do.
I'd have kept my nose out.
Well, I don't.
You should have gone.
Mac, I told you. I
What
was
do you
just.
care? Nothing's gonna stop you anyway. Not me telling you, not Eric, not Diana telling
She
you.
testified for God's sake!
Listen to what I'm saying. Nothing's changed.
So again, Karen thinks that because Diana gave a deposition that things were going to change. However, they were not going to change. Again, this is according to teachers' fair use policy.
She loves him. She thinks that he killed Steve for her. You think she's gonna come back here?
Mac, don't tell me to give up.
Yeah, give up. She's gone. You've lost her.
Not the Chip.
Listen to me,
You don't
Karen.
understand. She's not your daughter.
She's not my daughter. You think I just been standing around doing this for nothing?
You
She's
can
not my daughter.
understand.
I'm tired of watching you do
And
this.
don't you try to knock me out with guilt.
You better do something.
Just because.
Because I've had it.
Just because. It's so difficult for you.
So she's getting to that point. She's getting to that. Oh. And you can even tell in her, the way that they have her hair at night, where she's starting to become a little bit more unraveled, a little bit more unstable, and just not the Karen McKenzie that we all know and love. She's just becoming a total different person. So, when you get to this point, you do have to reach out for help. And I can say that because I had to do that a couple months ago, where I wasn't. It was more or less my emotional state. It had nothing to do with anything other than that. It was just the grieving process, and with the grieving process, I was in a lot more pain. I just wanted my mom, and it was just a bad situation. So, and I was able to get some pain relief, and I felt a little bit better. It wasn't, and I got through it. However, you do have these points where it is difficult, and you do have to reach out for help, and that is so, so, so important. So, that's the one thing that I love about Knots, is that it kind of it takes the pulse of America right now in this time. Again, is when I think the DARE program started to come onto the scene, and the schools, and I don't know when Buddy Ford and Nancy Reagan and all that happened. I think it was about this time. So, it can happen. And then when things start to pile up with Karen, and all the frustration and people telling her what to do and how to handle it, again, it's going to get worse and worse and worse to where they don't know whether they're coming or going, and it can creep up on you as it did with Karen. And at first she was taking the pill to help relieve her pain, however, it became something more than that. So, and that is difficult. So, could I say, what came first, the pain or the grieving or the pain? I don't know, in my mind. And in a way, Karen is grieving the loss of her daughter because she's no longer in her life and she no longer will talk to her or have anything to do with her. So it's almost like she physically lost her daughter because she's no longer wanting to be a part of her life. So we'll see this play out in the next couple of episodes. And all I can say is right now, and like I said yesterday, I'm on season 8. Now I'm on season 9. Oh, that's going to be a doozy as well. Season 9 is going to be a doozy. I think now that we have season 5, all the other seasons are going to be a roller coaster. I have not gotten past season 10. I've gone from season 1 to season 9, some of season 10, but I have not gotten past season 10. So, I don't think that there's anything else to add. So, don't forget that the We're Not Done Yet podcast will be linked down below. The CB Circle channel is linked down below. No Escaping the Cul-de-Sac is linked down below. My playlist for the knotslanding review lives will be linked down below. As well as, don't forget to do the YouTube videos, like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notification. Oh, co-host, I do have one question. What do you think about Mack in these episodes? Do you think that he's trying to be a good husband and he doesn't know how to help, or do you think he's getting frustrated? And I just don't know. I just want someone else's opinion. In my mind, I'm not yelling, I'm just laughing at myself. So, again, comment down below, let me know what y'all think, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye.